Namaskaram. My name is Ramesh Natarajan, and here is the GRD IYERS GURUCOOL Vidyalaya. We are an inclusive team, and we especially encourage ladies to chant, including Vedas. Dear friends, today is a very special day. Devi has blessed me with a unique opportunity of spending a few precious moments with my Sri Guru, Shree Haran Ayya. His Diksha Nama is well known, Sri Chaitanya Nandanatha Saraswati, and he is the Peethadhipati of Sri Vidya Temple Society of Rochester in New York, USA. It's with Devi's blessings that we're going to have this conversation. And I thank the Guru Mandali and Devi for granting this wonderful opportunity to have this face-to-face conversation with my Sri Guru. Currently, I'm in India, in Tamil Nadu, and Ayya is in Rochester at the Sri Vidya Temple Society. Namaskaram Ayya, Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Namaskaram.
Dear Ayya, you are world renowned for your knowledge of Sri Vidya and for spreading it to thousands and hundreds of thousands of students and making them Sri Vidya adepts. For this, all of us offer our namaskarams at your lotus feet. Dear Ayya, post-COVID, people are still coping with severe effects of the COVID and trying to come to grips with it, whether it be economical and whether it be relationships within the family, or whether it is, and there are global effects of this whole thing. In your world of knowledge, the amount of knowledge that you have, what would you think would be an apt way to react and to adjust to this new global reality?
Namaskaram. Thank you very much for those kind words of introduction. The COVID-19 is just another way of the mother letting us know that in spite of all the advances that we are so proud of in science, in economics, in other things, other branches of knowledge, that just a microscopic being can upend the world and upend relationships, upend the economies of the most powerful nations on the earth. It's just another lesson. It tells us that she is in total control at all times, that none of us, in spite of our height of academic achievements, are anywhere near any one of these. So I think total focus on the mother is the way to go. And I don't see, with whatever knowledge, little knowledge I have, I don't see this COVID-19, as it is called, going away anytime soon. Every time we get a handle on one of the variations, another one is cropping up. And just like Rakta Bija, one drop falling into the ground is producing thousands and thousands of other variations. And each of them is resistant to some of the medications that are being employed. So I think focus on the mother, complete focus on the mother is the only way to go in this thing. And we have the tools in our hands, and we can go ahead and spread the knowledge to people. In the mundane world, I think we should observe all the restrictions and all the precautions that have been propagated quite adequately, I believe, around the globe. So I think the way to go it is to be more cautious.
Thank you, Ayya. Wonderful. I'm sure your words will be heard by millions, and you are pointing us to the lotus feet of Devi as the final recourse to dealing with this terrible problem that everyone is having has been carefully heard and will be followed. Dear Ayya, we also believe that there is a very exciting event that is coming up on July 3rd at the Sri Vidya Temple, Rochester, Rashi Mandala Puja. All of us are excitedly looking forward to it. We also know that this is an annual event. Can you please tell us how this originated and for how many years we have been doing this at the temple?
Yes, Namaskaram. With the grace of my Sri Guru, Srila Sri Amritanandanada Saraswati of Devi from India, in the company of his Dharmapatini Srimadi Annapurnambika, he has inspired all his disciples that they should take the opportunity to learn from any source possible. When he said this, at about 5 years ago, there was a confluence of planets. Whether one believes in astrology or not, Veda Angam, Jyotisham is Veda Angam, is one of the limbs of the Vedas, is what they say. So we started researching a little bit into this, and I came upon thousands of Rashi Mandalas in the internet. I wasn't satisfied with them because in the Nitya Shodasi Karanava, the sloka goes, Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rupinim Devim Mantramayim Naumim Matrika Pita Rupinim. It literally tells me Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yoginim Rasi Rupinim, that all of these are in her body as we imagine it. And her body is primarily the Sri Yantram, or known as Chakra Rajam, Yantra Rajam, so many words are there for it. And it is a city. And also, if you look at the popular story where the Devas and the Asuras got together and churned the ocean of milk using the Meru as a mat, or as one of those things that is used for churning milk. What many things came out of the ocean, and a pot of Amritam came out of it, a pot. If you look at the Sahasranamam, it goes Mahapatma Adavi Samasta. Adavi means forest, a lotus forest. Then Kadambavana Vasini, she who lives in Kadambavanam, Sudha Sagara Madhyastha. She is sitting on an ocean of Amritam. Whereas the Devas got a pot of it, here the Devi is seated on a pot, on an ocean of Amritam. So you can see that she really is the one that can control the universe and the cosmos any way she wants. And one of those manifestations is what we are seeing right now in the form of the COVID. Anyway, because of this, I thought we could merge the Sri Chakram with the Rashi Mandala. And I set about doing exactly the same with the help of some of my colleagues here who are experts in the computer and the computer sciences. We produced a Rashi Mandalam that we thought from all our calculations was accurate to the third decimal point. But even then, after producing the Rashi Mandalam, I had doubts that maybe I had overlooked something, that I had missed something. And it so happened that I had to travel to New Zealand to conduct a marriage. And we stayed in the house of one of my aunts, one of my wife's aunts. And this lady is a remarkable lady because coming from a very orthodox and very strict village in Jaffna, in Point Pedro, after 6 children, she entered law college and then passed out and then retired as a magistrate, district magistrate. So you can tell that she was not a dud. And we were talking about this, and I showed her a drawing of what I had done. She smiled, then got up and went inside and brought out and opened up a yellowed sheet of paper where exactly the same mandalam had been drawn by her 40 years before. And I checked everything, and everything was perfect, exactly the way we had done it. So here was the Devi's way of letting me know that what I had done was correct. So what we did, we thought we should help the public. People who are into Sri Vidya, of course, by just doing, the rubric says, Tantra Marka Purushottamam, Dharmini Sakita Yajamanam, Jabat Dhyana Aradhanam, Nitya Yajanam Adhikaram. Adhikaram means authority. It tells you who can do the puja. Tantra Marka Purushottamam. Sri Vidya, of course, we know is in the Tantra Marka. Uttama Purushan, a good man, in the company of his wife, Dharmini Sakita Yajamanam. So from there we know that the ladies have equal right to do everything. Dharmini Sakita Yajamanam. And what should they do? Japam. Mantra Japam they have to do daily. Dhyanam, introspection of themselves, they have to do daily. Aradhanam, they have to perform puja, the ritual every day. Nityam, every day they have to do. Then there is also another twist to this. If you say Nitya Yajanam Adhikaram, that means they have to do Nityakala Devi Puja. And to perform Nityakala Devi Puja, you have to perform Sri Yantra Puja. And to do Sri Yantra Puja, you should be at least initiated into Panchadasakshari. And if you are initiated into the Panchadasakshari, and if you are Nityam about your Japam, that means if you do the Japam every day, the way it is prescribed, the Chit Shakti that is coiled up in a 3.5 coil at the base of the body in the Mooladharam or coccygeal plexus will start to move up along the spinal column through the neural canal. And as it passes through Swadhishtanam, Manipuraham, Anahatam, it must be pushed up above the Anahatam. For the people who do Panchasakshari, it will break through the Brahma Granthi and break through the Vishnu Granthi. Once you have broken through that, Nitya Japam will keep it there. If it stays there, the planets will not have any effect on you. They will come, do namaskaram to you and keep going. After all, the planets are created by the Devi to mitigate your prarabdha karma. And once you have reached that stage of breaching the Vishnu Granthi, and she is there, you are able to now virtually control the planets yourself. So to do the puja in the Rashi Mandalam that we have prescribed here, everybody will come. People who are knowledgeable about Sri Vidya, people who have no knowledge about anything, they will come. And because they are undergoing planetary difficulties because of the positions in the Jatakam or the present positions, that energy that they bring along with it, dosham is a form of energy. If you are not prepared adequately, part of that will get into you because you are doing, after all, you are doing nivaranam, dosha nivaranam, a way for them to escape that. And that energy has to go somewhere, it will reach you. If you have breached the Vishnu Granthi and you are above that, you can easily destroy that by doing havan, internal havan, in one of the 3 places where the Agni is. In the Swadhishtanam, Kama Agni is there. In the stomach, Jatara Agni is there. And between the Ajna, in the Ajna, Jnana Agni is there. So when you, by chance you absorb anything, when you do the japam, you do 108 of Panchasakshari with the Swahantam into that fire, it is destroyed. So this is what we decided. The yantra that we created, the mandalam, is a 35 feet square. And because of its size, it cannot be performed inside the temple. We have to have it under a special tent. And because the yantram is now merged with the Sri Yantram, all you can see of the yantram is that it has the 4 entrances. Rigvedam in the east, Yajurvedam in the south, Samavedam in the west, and Atharvana Vedam in the north. So the 4 entrances are there, and this whole mandalam is held up by the Diggajas. So what we do is we have to, if you are going to perform puja to this yantra, the necessity is that you have to mount the yantra. You have to climb on top of the yantra. Before you go there, you have to adequately purify yourself and make yourself fit to get onto the yantra. So the first thing is Diggaja puja is done. Then after that, the Dwara puja is done. Entrances to the Sri Yantra. Then Chaturayadana puja is done. Nairudheja Ganechanam Suryam Vayaveva Chaishanye Vishnu Agneye Sivam Prabhujayet. It becomes Shakti Panchayadanam. So you worship the 4 corners. Now you are in a fit position to get onto the yantra. And from any one of the 4 entrances, the sadhakas, the couple, it's again a couple. They get up, they go on to it, and the next stage in the puja is to pay your respects to the Dik Devatas. Indra, Agni, Yama, Nairadi, Varuna, Vayu, Kubera, Soma, Ishanya, Brahma, and Vishnu. Each of them will have kalasas, and each of them, there are murtis. There are a total of 28 murtis in this mandalam, which we have commissioned, and they are Panchaloka murtis. And along with the murtis, a kalasam will be installed. Now, I will talk a little bit about the kalasams, because the kalasams have great scientific basis. Each of them, whether they are Chaturayadana murtis or Digdevata murtis or Rasi murtis or Graha murtis or Nakshatra Mandala murtis, all of them have kalasams. Now in the kalasams, usually in temples, you are supposed to have, there is a particular order of the metals that these kalasams should be made of. First one is Swarnam, gold. Second one is Rajatam, silver. Third one is Tamram, copper. Fourth one is Panchalokam, or Pittale, brass, or clay pot. A clay pot is also called a Swarnapatram. So in this sequence, of course, it is impossible for us to afford gold patrams unless somebody who is listening to this speech and wants to participate on it and wants to see the temple progress. Unless somebody donates the gold patrams, it will be nice. The second one is silver patrams. Third one is copper. We use silver, copper, panchalokam or brass in the temple. Now, it is customary to clean the outside of the thing, outside of the pots, because otherwise, aesthetically, it is going to be disturbing. It is going to jar. And we make sure in the temple that all the pots and the pans and everything that are used are gleaming. Now, what most people do not know is that you have to clean the inside of the kalasam. It has to be polished. If you take the trouble to polish the inside of the kalasam, it will become, the shine will be there, and now it is ready to be interacting with the atmospheric oxygen and the moisture that is present in the atmosphere, and whatever that is placed inside the pot. Now, outside the pot, you know that there is this nadi sandhanam, that the 3-layered cotton string is wrapped around it. These at least 72 rounds you have to do, then it becomes, represents the 72,000 nadis in the body. And by wrapping it like that, when it goes crisscross, 5,145 junctions are created. And these form points where the mantra is absorbed. And once the kalasam is completed and placed, the water that is there in the Kalasam, you will notice that the water, we prepare and we use the water for everything. In the Panchapatram, in the Achamana Patram, in the Kalasams, everywhere water is there. This water has to be now magnetized. That means you have to produce magnetic water. How is that achieved? What we have in the temple is the 27 constellations, beginning with Kritika and ending with Bharani. Each one has a tree that is called a samit. Sometimes the scriptures will say use the root. Some others will say use the bark. Some others will say use the leaves or use the inflorescence or flowers or the fruit or the seeds. Depending on what they have prescribed, we have obtained them very carefully and ground them and made them into a powder. Now, into this powder, good quantities of edible camphor are infused. And saffron, preferably obtained from Iran, is placed in there. And cloves, cardamoms, and kasturi manjal, that is turmeric, slightly different turmeric, that is a class of it, is called kasturi manjal. It's a different, slightly different color, but still the active reagent is curcumin. And this mixture is now prepared. And when water is added, all that we are doing is we are preparing an electrolyte. In pure scientific terms, an electrolyte is prepared and it is placed into the Kalasam. Once the Kalasam is properly installed and placed there, after Varuna Puja, what will happen is any mantra that is properly chanted, or Tevaram that is sung, or any sloka that is chanted is absorbed into the water. And in the meantime, from the internal surface of the Kalasam, ionization is occurring. If it is a silver Kalasam, silver ions are migrating to the center from all sides. If it is a copper Kalasam, cupric ions are migrating to the center. If it is a gold Kalasam, gold ions are migrating to the center. And already the Kalasam water is already a mixture and an electrolyte. An interesting phenomenon known as oligodynamic effect is taking place in the Kalasa water, and it becomes magnetized. We have performed this puja 5 years before. And people who have taken the Kalasam water, sometimes they call and report to me that 5 years ago, what was given to them, that water is still fresh. And in 2010, we did the Mahakumbhabhishekam for the temple, Punaruttarana Kumbhabhishekam, using 1008 such Kalasams. And the Kalasa Tirtham that was given to the people who had sponsored the Kalasams, they come back and they tell me 12 years later, it is still fresh. So, you know, some changes are taking place. And I might inform your audience that if they want to learn a little bit more about how this water is reacting and how it can actually become magnetized, is by referring them to Dr. Masaru Emoto, EMMOTO. Do a Google on them and on him and find out what he has written about the water. You will understand why Sanatana Dharmis use so much water in all our rituals. So now this is the Kalasam. Now there will be Nakshatra Kalasams, Rasi Kalasams, Navagraha Kalasams, Digdevata Kalasams, Chaturayadana Kalasams, and so on and so forth. All of them will receive proper puja by Shreshta Sri Vidya Upasakas. When the Shreshta Sri Vidya Upasakas are performing the puja properly, and with the crowd of people who are there, other Upasakas chanting all the mantras, the absorption is at a peak. It is maximized. And after the puja is over, if you have sponsored one of the Kalasams, let us say you are born in Sadabhisha, under Sadabhisha Nakshatra. That means on the 3rd of July, Saturn is going to be sitting right on your Nakshatra in one of the 4 divisions that are called Padams. So it is going to be there. And effect of this is going to be on that particular day, it is also interesting that 5 planets are going to be ruling in ruling positions. Saturn, Guru, Shavvai, that is Mars, Shukra, Venus, and Buddha, Mercury. All are going to be in their own houses, which means their power will be at maximum. So what will happen is, if you take this after the puja is done and you have sponsored a Kalasam for Sadabhisha, which is your Nakshatram, that water will be given to you. If you sponsor it from far, you can participate in the puja through the Zoom or through the internet. That water will still be mailed to you and you can use it. So this is the way we are trying to do the thing. If you have any other questions about this, I have been talking for a long time. Now, there are other sponsorships that are going along with this. The Sahasranamam says, Maha Sadashashti Koti Yogini Ganasevita, 64 crore devatas are in the Sri Yantram. Now, on the periphery of the yantra, along the Chaturastram or the Trilokimona Chakram or the square, the temple owns 2,000 right-handed Dakshinavarti Shankas. You know, the Dakshinavarti Shankas are pretty rare. And the same Jaladravyam, the powder that I told you before, is going to be added to this. And the waters are going to be worshipped along with the Kalasatirthams. So powerful vibrations will be there in that water. Now, at a particular time during the sequence of the puja, Swasinis will be asked to come and line up. In place of the Sadashashti Koti Yoginis, a couple of Shankams will be worshipped by these ladies. And they will do Kunkumarchana to it, either Trisadi or Akshtotra or Kadgamala Stotram or something like that will be chanted depending on the time sequence. And this Kunkumam will be given to those ladies to take away, and these Shankams are available for sponsorship. And if you sponsor them, those Shankams will be given to you. You can take it home and place it in your own house. That is one of them. The other one, of course, is the Nakshatra Kalasams or any one of the Kalasams that are there. You can sponsor them. Or a Navagraha Yantra. We have identified a German artist who has produced a beautiful collage of these drawings of these Nakshatra or these Navagrahams. And we have had his permission, and specially these Navagraha Yantras have been made for the temple. And those Navagraha Yantras are placed there. They won't have any Bijaksharas, but they will have the mandalas on which the Navagraham stands. Pattini Putra Adidevada, Pratyudi Devada, Pattini Putra Parivara, Ayuda Vahana, Dhanya, Mandala, Ratna Samedam. So that mandalam will be there. And you can take that and place it in your shrine room so that you have the blessings of them. Then again, there will be Spatika Malas, Navaratna Malas are there. You can sponsor them. Now, another interesting thing that we have found is that Lakshmi is part of the oceans. She is residing in the salt. That salt that we are going to use for the Rashi Mandala Puja comes from the Himalayas. Because 3 million years ago, the Himalayas was underwater and the salt deposits between the rocks is mined. And what is interesting about this salt is that it contains 85 rare minerals that are absolutely essential for the human beings. The white salt that you buy in stores is bleached. So all the beneficial things have been killed off anyway. So this salt is also placed in little bottles, and a little bit of pepper that represents Kubera is also there, plus a coin containing Lakshmi Kubera is placed there. And these bottles will be worshipped. And if one buys 8 of them, if you sponsor that, you will get 8 of those bottles. You take them home, and where 2 walls are meeting in your house, approximately in the 8 directions, you place this and open the bottle. And people who have used this in the last few years have been reporting back that their financial situation in the house is slowly improved. After 6 months, you eat the salt and the pepper because it would have now run its course. And the next year when you come, you can get another set and go. So this is available for sponsorship. Along with this, something called Kubera Padi is being sponsored this time. Padi means a small copper or brass vessel that we use to measure rice back home. This is filled with akshatas, rice, turmeric, kasturi turmeric, and a little touch of ghee. And this too is supposed to be a place for the Lakshmi to come and reside, along with the Lakshmi Kubera coin. That also will be offered this time for the first time. And once this is used at home, you take it and leave it in your house. And in the house, it should be there. And every month, you take the thing, use the rice for cooking, cook the rice and eat, and then wash the vessel and put the rice back again with the coin and do so for the next month. So this Kubera Padi also is being offered. I have been speaking at length. If you have any other questions, please let me know.
Dear Ayya, it is so amazing to hear the details of this magnificent puja. I have been fortunate and blessed to attend one such puja earlier. I think it was in New Jersey. And like you mentioned a few years ago. The question that I have for you is, there are devotees all across the world who want to take benefit of this puja. And they might be wondering that, for example, if someone is in India, someone is in UK, someone is in some other part of the world, and they want to take part in this puja and get the benefit of this puja, how can they get involved in this puja and get the benefit of this puja?
Yes, there is, they can go to svts.org/Rashi Mandala 2022. If they go to that site, or if they can scan the QR code that appears when they type this thing, they can have the details of how to participate in the puja through Zoom or through any other means. And it says, Partal Kertal, Darshanam Pandina. If you can visit the thing and watch the puja, if you can hear the mantras being chanted, or if you can be present anywhere close to where the puja is taking place, you don't have to see it, you don't have to hear it. If you are anywhere close by, the effect will reach you. It is that powerful. It is not srividya.org. It's the web address. If you can go into that, you will be able to get it. And this is not something that you can participate everywhere. Nowhere, no other temple in the world has this mandala. Therefore, they don't know how to do it. This is the only place where this mandala is available, and we can perform the puja for you. And this is one place where there are a number of senior Sri Vidya Upasakas.
It's amazing. All the details that you have mentioned, the details of the puja, and we all know that you are a perfectionist, and having witnessed the puja myself and taken part in it, I've seen the benefits of it. The other question I have for you is, what are the nakshatras that will get the maximum benefit? For example, which person will get maximum benefit from partaking in this puja? Which are the nakshatras that are afflicted at present, as per your great knowledge of Jyotisha?
Okay. Let me go to one of the most popular ones that people ask about, Saneswara. At the time, Saneswara is located in Kumbarasi. On July 3rd, he will be in Sadatarika. Saturn will be in Dhanishta 3rd Padam. Dhanishta, Nakshatram 3rd Padam. If he is in Kumbam, the Nakshatras in Makaram, that means Uttara Ashada, 2, 3, and 4. Sravana, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 and 3, 7. 2 padams of Dhanishta, first and second padams. These nakshatras and nakshatras in Meena Rasi, Uttara Bhadrapada, then Purva Bhadrapada, Uttara Bhadrapada, and Revati. All of them. And all the nakshatras in Kumbarasi are now undergoing 7.5 years of Saturn. Shade Sani. Now, if it is there, it is going to create, when Saturn lands on one's nakshatra, it is said Janma Shani. And fortunately, Saturn owns Makara and Kumbarasi. So, the impact will not be as severe as you expect it to be, but it will be. There will be. Now, for people who are born in this Rasi of Karkataka, that means Punarvasu, last Padam, 4th, and Aslesha, all 4, and Pushami Nakshatra, all 4. For them, Saturn is now in the 8th house. Kataka, Simha, Kanya, Tula, Virichika, Dhanasu, Makara, Kumbha, 8th house. What he will give in 7.5 years, he is going to give you a concentrated dose in 30 months. Because Saturn moves 1 degree every month. And one Rasi, approximately, it's 30 degrees. So in that 30 months, you will have maximum effect of Saneshwara. In addition, Saturn has 3rd aspect, that is, if he is in Kumbam, Meena, and Mesha. In Mesha, the nakshatras are Ashwini, all 4, Bharani, all 4, and Kritika, first Padam. They will have an impact. He is aspecting them. Then from there, the 10th house he is aspecting. So like that, there will be effects. So these nakshatras that I mentioned to you, beginning with Uttarashada and ending with Revati, they will get the maximum benefit out of participating in this puja. And people who are born in Kataka Rasi, those people will attain maximum. Now, also, few months ago, Rahu and Ketu, the northern node and southern node, that move anti-clockwise, Rahu has moved into Mesha Rasi, which means in Janmam, Mesha is there. In Janmam, Rahu is there. That means he is now in Bharani, 4th Padam at the moment. And if you count 7 steps on the other side, he is in Tula Rasi. That means Chitra 3 and 4, Swati Nakshatram all 4, and Vishaka 1, 2, and 3. These people will have some kind of an effect. That means blockages, little barriers, little arguments, disagreements, like that, it will happen. If you do the pujas at this time, those will be eliminated. So these are some of the examples.
Amazing. Now, if I want to take part in the puja, but I don't know my nakshatra, I don't have a birth chart, what do I do? How do I sponsor? Under which nakshatra will I do my sponsorship?
If you do not know if you at least know your time and date and place of birth, we can immediately calculate it and let you know what nakshatra you're under. But if you do not know your time of birth in a 24-hour period, then it will be difficult. But we can check the Panchangam for that particular year and that particular month and date and give you what nakshatra has been in force that day. So we can do that.
So do we have to send an email at the temple email address for this?
Yes. Your email address is Sri Vidya, SVTS.org. If you send it, they will immediately respond to you and telling you this is your nakshatram. And then you can sponsor that particular nakshatra kalasa.
Amazing, amazing. Dear Ayya, are there specific gems that help in decreasing negative planetary effects or increasing positive planetary effects?
There are the Navagraha, the Navagraha modrams or the rings that people wear. It is important that the backside of these rings are open. If they are open, that gemstone now is in direct contact with your skin. And as it filters the light, the solar light, the sunlight through that, different changes will take place in your system. Subtle changes, yes, but definite changes will be there. One thing important is that when you buy the ring, you have to, when you go to the jeweler, ask him for a jeweler's loop. Place the ring under the thing and look at it yourself. Don't take the jeweler's word for it, because he is a businessman or he or she is a business person. They will try to sell it off to you as quickly as possible. Take a look at it through the loop, preferably with a light source in the back, to see whether there are cracks inside the stone, occlusions, inclusions, foreign matter. If they are there, that stone is not fit to be used. It must be perfect. It has to be cut properly. If there are chips or anything like that, don't buy the ring. But if you get a good ring like that and then you wear it, yes, the benefits are there.
It's very interesting to know what you mentioned, that is the underside of the ring must be open and not closed for to get the maximum benefit of wearing the Navagraha stones ring. That is an amazing insight that I learned today. So thank you so much for that. We have seen a lot of Shankars being used in the puja. What is the significance?
Lot of Shankars?
Yes, we have seen a lot of Shankars. So in the Rashi Mandala puja, for the Yogini puja, a lot of Shankus are being used. What is their significance?
The Shankams, the right-handed ones, what we have in the temple, there are two types of these Shankams. In India and in the East, they come from the Indian Ocean and they are smooth. Especially the ones that are found near Rameshwaram, they are completely smooth. That is one variety, one class of it. In the West, we get our Shankams from the Caribbean Sea or the Sargasso Sea. They are of a slightly different variety, but have the same characteristics as the ones found in India, in the Indian Ocean. These have little ridges like that, and the Shankams have been carefully chosen and brought to the temple. There are particulars of the Shankam that one needs to know. For the left-handed variety is the most common. 1,000 of them, 100,000 of them, for every 100,000 of them, the rule of thumb is one right-handed one will manifest. And the right-handed ones, therefore, are very rare. They are the shells of an animal living in that. The shells have to be properly cleaned and taken, washed and taken. About 20 years ago, you could buy them freely in the United States. Now, it has been banned because the traders who have been greedily selling them without cleaning them properly have also sent other germs with them, so that the local things have got affected with that. Therefore, the government has banned them. But this 1,000 of them are taken, the 2,000 of them that we have taken. First of all, Surya Kalasa installed. Surya Kalasa installed in the Shankam, and then Varuna Kalasa installed in the Kalasa. That means they have been worshipped. And when the water is poured in, at least the names of 21 sacred rivers in the great country of Bharat are mentioned, and they are placed in the Shankam. So the significance is that one drop of water coming from a left-handed Shankam is punya. When you say, you get benefit out of that. But if you get it out of a right-handed one, the effect is 100,000 times more. It is equivalent to the Ganga that is issuing forth from Parameshwara's matted locks. That is why the Shankam is important. And of course, in Sri Vidya and in Tantra, it has a different connotation, but that is an entirely different subject.
Absolutely. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much, Ayya. I have just received an amazing question from one of the members here. Is there a difference in the puja and benefits if one arranges a navagrahas on the Rashi Mandala according to one's chart versus the planetary alignment for the day?
Yes, very much different. If it is arranged according to one's horoscope, that means now that whole Rashi Mandalam has been geared towards that one individual, nobody else. So when it is placed there exactly according to one's horoscope, it is going to be an individual puja. All these pujas that I mentioned, which will be geared towards that one person alone. So not for the benefit of everybody. So what we do is that planetary positions over Rochester on that particular day will be the ones that will be reflected on that day, and they will be reflected with pinpoint accuracy on that particular day.
Amazing, amazing. Like I said before, I have participated with your grace and Devi's grace in one of these mandala pujas, and it was a whole day puja that was performed. We have all seen you on the stage with amazing energy, reciting all the mantras for the whole day. And we've seen the energy around the place. Like you said, Sri Vidya Asakas performed the puja, and with your recitation and them performing, that day is still great in my memories. I have a small question of concern. Since you'll be performing the puja and the Sri Vidya Upasakas will be performing the puja, like you mentioned earlier, the negative effects of releasing the negative effects from the people who are afflicted will have to pass somewhere. And it is believed that generally it passes on to the priests who are performing the puja. If that be the case, when you take on somebody else's negative effects, how do you mitigate that?
I thought I mentioned this just a little bit time ago. When the puja is performed by, this is the reason Shrestha Upasakas are let in there, because it is assumed that they do their japam daily, that they are very, very keen and very, very absorbed about doing their japam every day. And it is assumed that Chit Shakti, the Kundalini Shakti, is above the Vishnu Granthi after it is broken. Then whatever energy that comes, the Jataragni or the Jnanagni or the Kamagni in their body, that is their choice. They can perform, they have to, after they do the puja, they have to perform at least 108 ahutis into the fire, visualizing it, that these fires are there. But remember that the fire is not just burning. You have to go through the preliminaries, the purvangam for the homam, and that particular location, and offer it with swaha anta. There are 5 antas for every mantra. When you're doing the Panchasakshari, you will do the Panchasakshari with your swaha anta. At least 108 should be done. And after that, the homam is done. You do prokshanam or you do snanam, and the effect will be washed away from you. And
Wonderful.
you will be free. Yes.
Excellent. This event is going to happen on July 3rd. Is there any timeline for registering for the sponsorship?
I would say no. It will be on first come, first serve basis. Now, let us say that one person has sponsored Sadavisha Nakshatra, that is Dhanishta Nakshatra, 4th Padam or whatever, Dhanishta. And all the Kalasams for that will be placed on that in a radial fashion from the center where the Devi is located. All of these Kalasams will be placed one behind the other on that particular Nakshatra sector. Once that sector gets filled, then there is no other room for Dhanishta Nakshatra. So one has to be quick about contacting the temple and asking for the particular Kalasam. So even though it is a large mandala, the scope is still limited for people to be able to participate in it. Because most of the people who are afflicted with Saneshwara will want to do the puja. So with the idea that one section of the Rashi Mandala will be full of Kalasams.
Yes.
And for the others,
And
everybody
please.
else, depending on their horoscope, what planets are aspecting what house, and so on and so forth, the Rashi Mandala Puja will be absolutely beneficial.
Understood. And if I have understood correctly, one can be anywhere in the world, they can still sponsor and they'll still get the prasadam at their home, even if they're not at the temple, they can still take part in the puja, avail the benefits,
Absolutely.
and also watch it live and get the prasadam delivered to their home. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It will be delivered to their home.
Amazing, amazing. Dear Ayya, we know how precious your time is. You have taken these valuable moments and shared with us the knowledge and the benefit of these pujas. My last question to you is, we're all eagerly looking forward to the amazing granite temple, the very first to be established outside India at Sri Vidya Temple, Rochester. Can you please tell us how the project is coming along and how all of us can participate and do our little contribution towards this amazing, beautiful granite temple project?
Yes, we were to have completed the Ganapathi temple, at least in the complex, by last year, but then the pandemic intervened, and loss of workmen, loss of so many things, and availability, more than anything, the availability of containers to ship what has been made has become almost impossible to deal with. Before pandemic, if you sent a container, it cost us $3,000. Today, the same container is costing $14,500. So we have to be very creative about, because it will inflate the cost of the temple. Before pandemic, the temple was estimated to cost $15 million. Now we don't know. And the temple is being sculpted in Tamil Nadu in a place called Devakotai by the same sculptor who sculpted our Devi. And the rocks have come from the same quarry. And it will be, the Ganapathi temple is 90 to 95% complete. We expect to have the first shipment somewhere in August, September. And depending on how the Sthapatis who have to erect the temple here, because the technology here being whatever it is, however advanced it is, they have no idea how to put the granite pieces together. So they will be here to put that, and depending on how soon the Department of Immigration is going to respond to us, they have to be here to put the temple together. We hope that before the end of the year, Ganapathi will be up. At the moment, they are working on the Subramanya temple, which will be a mirror image of the Ganapathi temple. And the Ganesh temple will have, because it is a teaching temple, it will have 16 varieties of Ganapathi placed on the temple in various locations so that people can know. And similarly, for the Subramanya temple, 16 different types of Subramanya will also be placed. So we hope that by fall, we should have a clearer idea. How you can participate is go to the website and type in, after the website address, type in Granite Temple or Raja Gopuram project. Raja Gopuram project. You will know exactly how to participate in that. That's an entirely different subject at the moment. So we hope to have lots of participants in the July 3rd Puja. And we expect that every one of you in the ultimate puja, after all these Rashi Mandalam is done, Devi will be worshipped in the center as Ardhanarishwara, half Shiva, half Devi, keeping with the tradition of treating the ladies equally. And
Amazing.
after the Devi puja is over, we hope that every one of you will be blessed abundantly by the Devi in her infinite karuna or compassion. And we hope to see you all in this puja. Thank you very much. Namaskaram.
Devi sends the corona, Devi also sends the karuna. So, dear Ayya, thank you for the wonderful message about the Rashi Mandala Puja for the benefit of entire humankind. I'm sure there's going to be amazing participation from all over the world. And I conclude this interview by offering my humble namaskarams at your lotus feet. Namaskaram.
Thank you. Namaskaram.